Everyone is talking about artificial intelligence today, but no one is talking about the dead end we're in. Elon Musk recently voiced a solution that 99% of people will ignore. And this isn't just a prediction. It's the birth of an entirely new industry that will make all of Earth's energy obsolete. Listen to every word, because this is a genuine escape plan for our planet. And I will explain why this is a turning point for our entire human civilization. AI in space is an inevitability. Look at the Kardashev scale. To become a Type 2 civilization and use even a millionth of the sun's energy, we need arrays of satellites in deep space. Just think about it. Earth receives only 1/2 billionth of the sun's radiation. Just 1/2 billionth. Therefore, if you need 1,000,000 times more energy than Earth can physically produce, you have no choice. You must go into space. And here, it's certainly convenient to have your own space company. My forecast is this: the efficiency of AI in space will become overwhelmingly higher than on Earth. And this will happen long before we run out of resources here. I'm talking about the next 4 years, 5 years maximum. Why? Because on Earth we will hit a ceiling. Let's say you need 200 or 300 gigawatts per year just for computations. The entire power generation capacity of the USA is about 460 gigawatts. You can't take 2/3 of a country's energy for data centers. It's impossible. And you can forget about terawatts on Earth altogether. Now look at space. The sun shines there 24/7. You don't need massive batteries. Solar panels are cheaper because there's no atmosphere, no weather. Cooling is also perfect. You simply radiate heat into the vacuum. You know, when I first listened to that interview, I didn't pay attention to this part. But when I dug a little deeper, I understood. We are possibly looking at the most important technological roadmap in recent years. This is the thing that 99% of the planet's population will overlook. And then they'll ask how we ever got to this point. What's the key insight? All of our nature, our power plants, every sunbeam that falls on the Earth's surface, it's all just crumbs from the table of the solar system. The other 99.9% just flies off into emptiness. And we all understand that AI will consume energy, and it needs more and more of it. To bring it to the next technological level and make it 100 times smarter and more powerful, all the Earth's power sockets won't be enough. It's not just about money. These are physical limitations that the leaders of all these AI companies are talking about. Let's put this in simple terms. The USA consumes about 460 gigawatts per year. That's everything: households, factories, cities. Now imagine an AI cluster requiring 300 gigawatts. That's 2/3 of the entire country's energy. And Musk is talking about terawatts. That's 2 Americas. On Earth, it's physically impossible. You'll run into bureaucracy, ecology, simple, not in my backyard opposition. There is no reality in which we could build that many power plants in such a short time on Earth's surface. And there's another interesting problem: cooling. Look at modern computing racks. They weigh 2 tons, and you know what? 95% of that weight is the cooling system. The actual computational chip is just a tiny fraction. Essentially, we're building giant industrial refrigerators to hide a few microchips so they, heaven forbid, don't burn up. But in space, the game changes. And you might ask, there's a vacuum there. What will cool these AI chips if there's no air or water? And this is where it gets interesting. Let me explain the physics, because it sounds like magic. But it's pure science. Any warm object in the universe radiates energy. It's called infrared radiation. You can't see it, but you feel it as heat. In physics, there's Stefan-Boltzmann's law. the energy radiated by an object grows proportionally to the fourth power of its temperature. So, if the temperature doubles, the radiation increases 16 times. In simple terms, you heat the chip just a little, and its ability to release heat grows dozens of times. Let's say we have a chip that heats up to about 80 degrees Celsius. It constantly radiates heat into space, which has a temperature of about 270 degrees Celsius. Such a difference is a huge temperature gradient, and since it's a vacuum, nothing prevents the heat from leaving. The radiation just flies off into the icy void. So, cooling in space is done very simply. You only need radiators, panels that efficiently emit heat in the infrared range, no pumps, no coolants, no complex machinery, just passive heat radiation. With solar panels, it gets even more interesting from an economic standpoint. On Earth, solar panels are a sandwich of glass, frames, heavy mounts, and protection from hail and wind. And most importantly, we need mountains of batteries because night happens every day, and it's not always sunny during the day. The efficiency of the best terrestrial solar farm is, at best, 25–30%. In space, panels can be thinner than paper. No glass, no weather protection, no heavy mounts are needed. We only need the solar panels themselves. And guess what? It's always sunny there. No night, no changing seasons. So, mountains of batteries aren't needed either. Efficiency approaches 100%, 24 hours a day. When you put this puzzle together, free cooling, perpetual sunlight, cheap panels, you get what Musk is talking about. It's not just slightly profitable. It could be 10 times cheaper than on Earth. But what truly blows my mind are the timelines he mentioned. Musk didn't say 20 years. He says just 4 or 5 years. In 5 years, hosting AI computations in space, as Elon Musk says, will become more cost-effective than on Earth. Think about that. This means SpaceX is most likely already designing these satellites to service AI. Right now, they are building the Starship rocket, capable of launching huge masses into orbit. And now they need to figure out who the customer for such a space behemoth will be. Transporting people to Mars is still a dream, but launching an AI data center or solar satellites into orbit sounds like a business plan. And even if Musk is optimistic about the timing, he wouldn't talk like this if the system hadn't been at least partially engineered. So, think about what it means when Musk says, "We have 5 years until such a future." What will 1 terawatt of computing power placed in space lead to? It will open the door for true artificial general intelligence, AGI, capable of processing data in real time from billions of devices. What is AGI? It's an artificial intelligence with human-like cognitive functions and the ability to learn on its own. Such an AI can learn anything and even exist autonomously. It will be tasked with simulating the planet's entire climate, developing new drugs, creating virtual worlds, and it will do it all simultaneously. This requires energy that simply doesn't exist on Earth, but it does exist in space. We're talking about AI capabilities that are orders of magnitude beyond what is physically possible with terrestrial infrastructure on Earth. This is why owning a space company becomes a key advantage for the world's largest economies. And here, geopolitics gets involved. It's unavoidable. SpaceX gains an advantage that is impossible to copy because they are the pioneers. They have their own rockets, their own satellites, their own launches. Blue Origin is years behind in this regard. China does not yet have reusable rockets of the same class. So, SpaceX, by being first, could gain a monopoly for at least a decade. It's important to understand that this is still very difficult, There are enormous engineering challenges that humanity must solve: protecting chips from radiation, orbital mechanics, space debris, satellite maintenance, communication latency, the deployment of the systems themselves. All these problems need to be solved. But for engineers who taught rockets to land on a drone ship in the middle of the ocean, these are solvable tasks. This is what they've been preparing for their whole lives. And when they solve these problems, the secondary consequences will be massive. When space-based computational infrastructure becomes standard, we'll suddenly need more launches, meaning SpaceX and Blue Origin will earn more. Starlink's revenue will also grow due to increased demand for global satellite communication systems. And a new giant technological cycle will be created around AGI. This will be vertical integration on a scale we have never seen before. And frankly, the geopolitical consequences will be colossal. Whoever controls the AI servers in space will control the development of intelligence itself. If the USA and SpaceX do it first, it will be their strategic advantage, one that will be almost impossible to compete with. If China does it, it will become a strategic vulnerability that will keep everyone in the Pentagon awake at night. I think most people will miss this because it sounds too futuristic. Just another Musk statement from a sci-fi novel. But here's what I've realized from watching Musk for over 5 years. When he gives specific timelines, like 5 years, he has already done most of the engineering calculations. Reality might lag by a year or two, or even longer, but the important thing isn't the date on the calendar, it's the direction we're moving. We're not talking about colonizing Mars in the distant future. We're talking about AI solar satellites that could be launched within the next US presidential term. That's how close we are to this future. The fact that people haven't yet grasped the scale of this says one thing: we are at the very beginning. We are witnessing the foundation of 21st century technology being reshaped. This is a fundamental restructuring of humanity as a species. The transition of our civilization from Type 1 to Type 2 on the Kardashev scale? And I can't believe I'm living in such times. I think you feel the same way.